Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pedestal Society. My name is Preo. I'm going to let a moment happen before I start talking about the topic because I had the live stream set for the wrong day on YouTube. I apologize. It's my fault. My bad. I make mistakes too. So I'm going to let YouTube get some time to really fill up because I had the wrong date for the live stream. Some women probably thought it was going to be tomorrow, and here we are right now. All right, so I'm going to let it fill up from YouTube and Instagram before we get started. We're going to have a real conversation that is highly needed. It is a must, especially when we're talking about the prize, the standards of the prize in relationship. So, hello, Pedestal Wives. Hello, Inner Circle members. Hey, Nappy Susie. Let me see if I can shout out some of my members and my Pedestal Wives. Thank you for being in the building. I appreciate you so much. So, hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, your Monday is going well. And unfortunately, on YouTube, I set the wrong date. That is the reason why it was pending for Tuesday. And I really didn't even notice it until I was wondering why it wasn't counting down. Then I realized, oh, wrong day. So I know I'm gonna give some time for YouTube to fill up. And I did not put the link in my stories like I normally do. So if you want to complete this live stream, it's going to be completed on YouTube. So you're going to have to click the link in my bio, and it will take you over to my YouTube page. But while that's happening, and while you're looking at the information here, let's talk about the standards of the prize in relationship. Now, one of the things that this sums up, and I think a lot of women need to realize this, maybe you need to get your paper and pencil out because I need you to realize that heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I really think that the affirmation, women took being the prize as an affirmation instead of a way of being a lifestyle. And since it is a lifestyle, that lifestyle comes with responsibilities. Now, do you know that when people are trying to be top tier athletics, where they're trying to earn their spot in the Olympics, they train from 6 to 10 years in order to earn a prize. And myself as being a pageant girl, there's certain things that I had to do in order to win a crown. It wasn't a free for all. It wasn't allowing everyone into that space to get the crown. So like I said, it's heavy is the head that wears the crown. No one told women, and I don't think I'm the first. I'm never going to come and say I'm the first, but I think no one told women that being the prize is a responsibility. It isn't just an affirmation. Every woman has inherent value, but to be the prize, you have to act like it. It's not just about being it, because as a woman, every woman has inherent value. Every woman is valuable, but not every woman understands what it requires to be the prize. And to be the prize, there's a responsibility that goes to that. I remember this very well on the internet where there was maybe you all remember it also, YouTube, Instagram. Also, I didn't make sure, Pedestal Wives, Inner Circle member, make sure you come over to YouTube. Make sure you can see me and hear me before we get into this, because this is a much needed conversation, especially when I hear women talking about, I'm the prize. And some of us have forgotten that a prize, you don't get to go and be the winner without rules of entry. You don't get to go and be the winner without requirement. You don't get to be the winner without responsibility. Someone taught women that they are the prize, but there's no responsibility attached to it. That they have these wonderful standards, but there's no responsibility with it. And that isn't true. Being the prize is more than just an affirmation, it's a lifestyle. It's the way that you carry yourself. It's the rules of entry. Everyone doesn't qualify to get the prize. That is the reason why when I was a pageant girl, I wouldn't have been able to enter in that competition without me being able to qualify. If I wasn't the right age, if I wasn't able to attend some events, if I wasn't willing to take on the responsibility, if I wasn't willing to live by a moral code. The prize has responsibilities. In order to be the prize, you have to act like the prize. It's not enough just for you to run around talking about I am the prize and using it as an affirmation. There are standards that come with being the prize. There's responsibilities that come with being the prize. That means I can't just go out here and, allow a man to come into my space just because he look good, or just because he has enough money, or just because we're in proximity, or just because I'm highly attracted to him. There's standards of being the prize. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And now we live in this time where women love to spout off being, I am the prize. Do you ever see the prize letting other people know or announcing itself? Has a prize ever announced itself? Other people announce the prize. Other people point to the prize. Other people put the prize on the pedestal. Other people protect the prize. Other people take care of the prize. Other people brag about the prize. The prize doesn't talk about itself. When you are that thing, other people will talk of you. Other people will congratulate you. Other people will point you out. Other people will model you. Other people will emulate you. Other people will follow you. But what we've done today, which is very disheartening, we've started using the prize as an affirmation. We've started operating as though it's an affirmation. And there's nothing wrong with women having a sense of value about themselves, treating themselves well, putting themselves on a pedestal. I do. I'm a pedestal wife. So I do. So I understand it. But I know that it does me no good for me to proclaim from the mountains that I am the prize, that I am the pedestal wife, when I know for facts that other people do. Other people model what I do. Other people want to follow in my footsteps. Other people love to hear to my advice. Other people listen to me. Other people are supposed to proclaim you the prize, not just you run around telling everybody that you are. Being the prize comes with responsibility. And every woman does not have the wanting to be the prize. Every woman doesn't desire to be so. Every woman doesn't want this path. Every woman doesn't have what it takes to stand on or be on a pedestal. Every woman doesn't require it. So it's not something that every woman is gonna walk this path in the first place. So we have to understand that there are standards of the prize, and the prize has responsibilities. And what are those responsibilities? Let's talk about it. Because it's so important that women understand what comes with being the prize. It is more than an affirmation. You have to actually act like the prize. You have to act like you have rules of entry. You have to act like there's requirements to get you. You have to act like there's responsibilities that come with it. It is more than just an affirmation to make you feel good. I love the prize conversation because I felt like it empowers women, but now I'm kind of upset when I see it now, because I know that every woman is not subscribing to the lifestyle that is required to be the prize, to act like the prize. And I know every woman doesn't desire to even go down that path because they don't understand what it is. It is more than your affirmation, you feeling good and being empowered. Being the prize is literally a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle on how you carry yourself. You have a responsibility when you decide you want to be the prize. You have to live your life in a certain way and walk on a path on a journey, which is going to attract you high quality people. But when we leave it as an affirmation, it's problematic. And now you just see women running around talking about I'm the prize, but they don't understand the responsibilities that come with being the prize, the standards that come with being the prize, the boundaries that come with being the prize, the life that comes with being the prize. The times where you're going to have to come across people who do not meet the standards required of entry, and you're going to have to let them go, even though that they are good people. You're going to have to realize you're going to come across men that you're highly attracted to, but they don't meet the requirements for rules of entry, and you're going to have to let them go. You're going to have to realize you're going to come across people, and they are not bringing the value that's required for the prize, that you're going to have to let them go. Being the prize is more than an affirmation, baby. It's a lifestyle. It's a way to live. But I don't think a lot of women understand what that means when you say, I am the prize. We don't understand that when it comes down to being the prize, every contest and competition has rules of entry. If you do not fit the rules of entry to get into or to compete, you cannot compete. If you do not fit the requirements, then you do not go into that competition or contest. If you do not want to take on the responsibility, then you cannot go into that contest or competition. It's the same thing when it comes to being a prize. There's rules to entry, there's requirements, and there's responsibilities. Thank you, Suzanne. We can hear you and see you well. Thank you, Daisy B. Since the workshop Male Archetype, I've understood what I've had to offer for my archetype. Since then, I'm working on myself to be that woman. Absolutely. Thank you, Suzanne, for saying that, because that goes into what we're talking about here today, how important it is that we get out of this mentality that being the prize is an affirmation. It is more than just empowerment. I want to empower you. If you go look at my body of work, I've done so much work in empowering women and teaching them the value of a woman. But I also understand that when it comes to being the type of woman that is the prize, it comes with responsibilities. It is a lifestyle, and not every woman is willing to do what is required to live that life, to be that prize. Not every woman is willing to turn away someone because they are a good person. They don't meet the rules of entry. What is your rules of entry? Because I think you need to be, if you are one of these women, I want to be the prize. I not just want to have it be an affirmation. I want to be that. Then you need to be thinking, what is my rules of entry? What is going to be required for this man to get my attention? Then you need to think about, what are the requirements? What are the requirements that's going to get me to even have interest in this man? Then the responsibilities. What are the responsibilities that man is going to have towards me in order to be the prize and not just act like it within this relationship? That's why it's so important that women understand what you're signing up for. Understand what you're signing up for when it comes to being the prize. Understand it is more than just an affirmation. It's just more than empowerment. I don't mind saying things, and in my body of work, of course, I say things and encourage you and help you understand what womanhood is all about. But I understand that when it comes to being the prize, and you have to do more than just be the prize, you have to act like the prize, you have to move in a certain way that people are not going to understand you. People are going to think that you are nuts. People are going to think that you're bougie. People are going to call you all kinds of names. And can you stand up to the pressure of being the prize and acting at it? Acting as the prize versus just using it as an affirmation? Can you stand the fact that there's going to come times in your life where you're going to have to hold still and sit down somewhere? The standards of a prize. When someone is competing for a prize, there are rules to entry. There are requirements. It could be age. It could be wanting to, if you have to attend certain events, because I know when I was a pageant girl back in the day, in order to have the rules of entry, you had to be a certain age. You had to pay the fees. You had to check off that you were willing to agree to attend certain events. You had to be willing to put yourself in that space, in that organization space, and you have to be willing to follow the rules in order to maintain the crown. It wasn't a free for all. It wasn't a anyone can be and have the crown. You literally had to do the things to win the crown. You had to fit the requirements. You had to fit the bill. You had to be voted in to do so. So I want us to really think about what it truly means to be the prize, and to stop just throwing it around willy-nilly. Just stop throwing it around when we're not willing to live up to what it really means to be a prize in a relationship. We have to realize it means to have standards. There's responsibilities to being a prize. It is more than affirmation. It is a lifestyle. Any woman who is operating from that space, they understand it's a lifestyle. They understand there's a certain way they have to present themselves. It's a certain group of men that they are willing to interact with. There's certain things that come with being a prize. It isn't an affirmation. And we need to understand what that means. I needed this today, Daisy B. Yes. I knew it wasn't going to be popular. I actually don't expect a lot of people to stay on live stream, because what I'm seeing on social media indicates that a lot of women don't understand that being the prize is more than an affirmation. It's a responsibility. You heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's the reason why I keep saying it over and over, because I want you to realize this is not a joke. This is not a joke to be the prize. But it's very disappointing when we have women that come in this space and they hear empowerment. Oh, I'm the prize. I am that. You hear it, but you don't understand that it is a lifestyle and it is a responsibility. You have a responsibility to create your rules of entry when it comes to the people that you deal with. You have a responsibility to have requirements, and you don't just entertain any and everybody. You have a responsibility to know what it means to be the prize, to know what it means to sit up high and look down low. You have a responsibility to be that girl. And it does not come easy just because you're a woman. Women have inherent value. They absolutely do. They're born valuable. They're born with value. They're born with inherent value. But when it comes to being a prize, that's a whole other level. And every woman is not going to take that path. Every woman doesn't want to take that path. It's not even about deserving. Every woman doesn't want to take that path. That is the reason why some women are going to accept men in their circle, in their space, that don't meet the requirements. There are going to be some women that's going to accept some men in their space who don't have the responsibility or aftercare required once they receive you, once they obtain you. Because once you win a contest or competition, you're giving what the responsibilities are for the aftercare of the win. So if you get a plaque, they tell you how to maintain that plaque. When you get a crown, they tell you how to maintain that crown. When you receive something after you win the competition or contest, there are responsibilities required to maintain that prize. Either it may be where you have to go to certain events. It may be where you have to show up in a specific way, where you have to look a certain way. I know when I was doing pageants, I don't know what the rules are now, but when I was doing pageants, there was a requirement of how I had to present myself because I was representing an organization. I was representing the people that I won the crown from. And they had requirements of how I had to dress. They had requirements of how I had to present myself. They had requirements of how I had to live my life, because you couldn't violate those moral codes. If you were, want to live your life and do whatever you wanted to do, then you probably shouldn't be out here trying to go after certain crowns, because they will disqualify you based off your morality and the moral codes that you've broken, and it's against the requirements of the crown. And so if you know it takes all of that to win a race, to get a crown, just imagine what it takes to be the prize. Just imagine what goes into being the prize. Being the prize is more than an affirmation, it's a responsibility. And since it's a responsibility, I think a lot of women are hearing, I'm the prize, and you're being empowered by it, but you don't understand the responsibility that goes with it. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It is a lot of responsibility to be the prize, because you literally have to turn away people who don't qualify, who haven't met the requirements, who aren't willing to take on the responsibility. You got to disqualify the people who are not going to uphold the image and requirements that it is of the prize. But you don't hear me though. You don't understand what it takes. And every woman is not going to desire taking this path. And it's understandable. There's a lot of responsibility that goes in being the prize. There's a lot of standards and boundaries that go with being the prize. There's a lot of respectability, image that goes in being with the prize. So I understand wholeheartedly if women are like, I don't want to be the prize. But don't claim it, baby. I'm going to be the first person to tell you don't claim it. Don't claim it if you don't want the responsibility. If you don't want to put the standards in, if you don't want to have the boundaries, if you don't care about the image, don't claim the prize. Just know that you have inherent value as a woman and you are valuable. You don't need to claim the prize and the standards that come with it and the responsibility that come with it if you're not willing to meet the requirements, if you're not willing to have the responsibility, If you want no responsibility and you want to be with the average folks, be with the average folks. That is your place, that is your lane, and that's where you desire to be. Be with the average, and that is okay because most people are average. Most people are average and they live average lives. There's nothing wrong with that. When you decide you want to be the prize, there's a responsibility that comes with it. There's requirements that comes with it. There's rules of entry that come with it. Now, being the prize is more than an affirmation that you say to yourself. It's more than empowering yourself. When you are living your life as a prize, you must act like it. And acting like the prize has standards. It has requirements. It has rules to entry. It has responsibilities. This means everyone that you come across, just because you like them, because they're good people, because they're nice, because they're kind, because they got a lot of money, because they're around the right people, doesn't mean they qualify. The prize has standards. And if this is something that you don't desire, then you don't desire it. And it is okay. It is absolutely okay to be average. Majority of people are average. And there's nothing wrong with average. But if you desire to be more in this world, in this life, you desire to be the prize, you desire to live like it, you must act like it. You must act like it. And it means that since you must act like it, and there's rules of entry to being the prize, every woman is not going to fit the bill. And that is okay too, because we live in a world of choice. You do not have to be the prize. You don't have to act like the prize. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. But you cannot proclaim to be the prize if you're not willing to act like it. You cannot proclaim to be the prize if you're not willing to have any standards. You cannot proclaim to be the prize if you don't have rules of entry. If you cannot proclaim to be the prize if you don't have requirements. You cannot proclaim to be the prize if you don't understand the responsibility that comes with being the prize. This means you cannot be average. You're not allowed to be average, because the prize, most people who are trying to compete for the prize, they train for years to obtain it. They do what it takes. They overcome. They do what it takes to overcome to get the prize. So you think that much energy is going into the average? It isn't. You have to be above average. You have to do things that most people won't do. You have to live a life that most people don't desire. You have to have standards most people haven't even thought about. So it sounds good for every woman to say I'm the prize. But baby, do you know the prize has responsibilities? Do you know it has standards? Do you know it has boundaries? Do you know everyone doesn't qualify for it? Do you know that you don't have to be the prize? You literally don't. You can choose to be average, and it's okay to be average because most people are. But when you proclaim to be the prize, then you have to act like it. You have to move as such. You have to move on a different frequency, a different level, a different moral code than everybody else. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this YouTube video over here so I don't have to look back and forth. If you want to continue this conversation, you can go ahead and click the link in my bio and it'll take you over to YouTube. So Instagram, I'll see you on the next one. You all have a great day. All right. Suzanne said, and it can't be fake. It's something we embody in our deepest core. Absolutely. It can't be fake. And you can always tell when a woman is operating from that affirmation and that empowerment that she gets from being told that she's a prize. Like I said, women are beautiful. Women are great. I truly do believe that women are valuable. But I understand that being the prize is a lifestyle, is not just an affirmation. And to be the prize comes with responsibility. And since it comes with responsibility, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's heavy responsibility. It is not meant for every woman to take on, because every woman is not going to desire this path. But when you say you are the prize, this means you have to act like it. This means you have to turn away some folks. This means you have to let people go. This means you can't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry into your space. This means you have a code that you operate from. And one of the good things that taking on this lifestyle is being the prize does for you, it brings you in contact with high quality people. People who decide they want to be above average. People who have decided I'm going to live a life that has standards and boundaries and requirements and rules of entry. But when you are the prize, you have to act like it. I would love for women to stop proclaiming it all over social media when you refuse to live the lifestyle required of the prize. Heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It is a heavy responsibility to be the prize. It is a heavy responsibility to be the prize. It is a heavy duty. It is a heavy responsibility. It is a heavy way to live your life. And it's a serious way to live your life. So when I see and I come across all these videos and women are proclaiming that they are the prize, but then I go through and I see video after video that indicates they're not even trying to reach the levels of what it requires to be the prize, not necessarily even act like it, it's very disappointing. Hey, sorry, do you have a video on women wasting their time? I know older women person who are now looking for marriage. As someone in my early 20s, I wonder why they didn't start before. There's a lot of things that there's a good reason why women don't start before, because women are not guided correctly. They don't have the elders are no longer here. The elders are around 30 years old themselves. Okay. The elders are very young and they don't have the wisdom to guide women. So a lot of women got bad advice, because you can literally get your guy and get your education all at the same time. You might have to move things around in order to make it work, but it can happen. It can work. I got married. I got a degree too. I got married. I have a business also. I got married and I've been able to have my dreams happen. So getting married doesn't stop these things from happening. You just have to make time. And sometimes you can't do all of it at the same time. Maybe you're in a phase of life where you're just going to have children. Maybe in the next phase, you're going to go ahead and get educated and have some type of career or a stay-at-home business or something. So I don't have a video pertaining to that particular topic, but I can understand what's happening. I've seen it happen. I've seen the advice given all over social media. But the standards of the prize in relationship, you hold a lot of responsibility. And unfortunately, we live in a time where everybody's like, you hold the responsibility. No, you hold the responsibility. No, you hold the responsibility. And it's like being passed back and forth. Y'all are literally debating between men and women who holds the most responsibility. Women have their responsibility and men have theirs. But when it comes to acting like the prize and not just being it, not just saying it, women hold a heavy responsibility, because we have a responsibility of who we allow in our space. What type of men do we give rules of entry to? What requirements do we have to have? What responsibilities is he taking on? Having that understanding that being the prize is more than an affirmation. It is a lifestyle. It is a responsibility. I don't even think most women understand that being the prize, and even when you verbalize it, even when you regurgitate it, you are absolutely going against what prizes do. Prizes do not announce themselves. Prizes do not let everybody know that they are the prize. You know who lets everybody know that they are the prize? When you win something, you're proud of it. When I won my crown, I let everybody know that would listen that I won my crown. My crown wasn't over there talking. It wasn't over there whispering sweet nothings. It wasn't letting everybody know that, hey, I won. I am the prize. I am the crown. It was me that let other people know that I was the winner. I was really proud of winning that crown. And that's how prizes are meant to be. Prizes are a woman who's gonna act like the prize. She doesn't have to announce herself that she is one, because other people will announce her for her. And other people would announce it. Other people will say, do you know so-and-so? She is so wonderful. Do you know so-and-so? She is the best one I've ever met. Do you know this girl right here? When I tell you she is bad, she is a great woman. Not only does she look good, she is all woman. She's a real woman. What happens when you verbalize that you are the prize and you don't understand the responsibilities that come with it, you'll walk around letting everyone know that you are the prize, when it's literally the responsibility of the contest winner to let other people know that they win. It's literally the responsibility of the person who wins the prize to announce the prize. So you don't have to announce yourself when you are the prize. When you understand the responsibilities that go in being the prize, you just have to make sure that that person meets the requirement, that that person meets the rules of entry, that that person is willing to take on the responsibilities. You don't have to do all this extra stuff that I see on social media. It's not required of you being a prize. Because when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. When a person wins a prize, that person will let everybody know that we're listening, that they want it. I definitely see a disconnect between ladies thinking they are a prize and know they're working in reality, which doesn't reflect that. Absolutely. And that's why I feel like even though this is going to be an unpopular live stream, I had to do it. Y'all know I do stuff based off what I feel like God's put in me and in my heart. And I had to say it because I see so many women that are talking about I'm the prize. See, the prize, do you know once a prize is won, it's usually kept in a place that's sacred, in a place that's going to be protected, in a place where it doesn't have to worry. So when I see women talking about I am the prize and their reality doesn't match up to it, I know that there's a big disconnect happening. So they know that women have inherent value, that women are valuable. Absolutely. I've taught that. There's tons of videos on this page where I've talked about how women are valuable. But I negated talk about responsibility and what it looks like in the responsibility of womanhood and what it looks like responsibility of being the prize. Usually prizes don't announce themselves and prizes are well taken care of. Do you know I have my crown from when I won it back as a teenager. I still have the crowns that I won when I was doing pageants. Because what we do when we win something, we're so proud of it. We let other people know about that we want it. We also do what we can to protect the prize and to protect what we want. So when I see that women are living in a reality that's not desired, not living in a way that a prize should live, not being taken care of, and dealing with men, they're very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. And you're yelling at the top of your lungs, I am the prize, I am the prize. But you're dealing with men that are very embarrassing. They're embarrassing. And I know I said it more than once because I have to. I saw a list very recently. I was going to share it, but I don't want to attract that audience because I'm so burnt out of the gender war that people have going on social media. I definitely don't want to attract that audience into my space, into my sacred space. So I don't want to share the video. But if you know, you know, there was a list that went out and women were talking about the type of men to not deal with. When I looked at that list, I said, this is embarrassing. No woman who is the prize and act like the prize has ever dealt with men that qualify or on that list. None ever. The things that were on that list were men who have saggy pants, men who don't have actual bank accounts, men who borrow money. And the reason why it's so embarrassing is because you letting the whole world know of the type of men that you've been able to attract. That's super embarrassing. You let the whole world know that the men that you've been dealing with are on that list. That's embarrassing. A prize would never. That is the reason why we need to start letting women know there's responsibilities to being the prize. The prize requires certain rules of entry, certain requirements to win, certain responsibilities and aftercare. But when you don't understand what it means to be the prize and you've taken it on as an affirmation, this is what you get. You get an entire list of women writing embarrassing things about men that they should have never been dating in the first place. Those men should have never been an option for a prize. As soon as you saw it, what part of tattoos on the face, saggy pants, men without bank accounts indicated that he was going to be a provider and protector and a father? What any of that indicates that he was going to be a family man? So when I see that list, and honestly, I'm going to tell you this, and this is off subject. Ladies, let me tell you something. When you operate from a space of what you don't want, you're coming from a place that's weak. When you operate from a space of what you do want, you're coming from a place of power. It would have been more powerful and not embarrassing if women would have said, these are the men that we do want. And they would have named off all of the men that and all the characteristics of men that would meet the requirements of obtaining a prize, versus naming all of the embarrassing type of men that you've dated in the past. So women literally came from a place of weakness with that one, and you really took a L, and you don't even realize it. And the men who are doing the same thing, they're also taking L's also, because it's coming from a place of weakness. One of the best advice my grandmother ever gave me, she said, don't ever tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you do want. You should operate from a space of telling people what you do want and not talking constantly about what you don't want. It's weakness to do that. So being the prize comes with responsibilities. It's standards. It's boundaries. It's sometimes letting go of people who don't meet the requirements. It's sometimes letting go of people who don't want the responsibility. So what would you be doing with a man who doesn't want the responsibility of a family, or doesn't want the responsibility of a woman he has to care for? Why would you even be entertaining that? A prize would never. A prize would never. Because the standards of the prize is more than an affirmation. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of being. It's the way you have to act. It makes you sometimes unpopular with people who don't have these standards. It makes you unpopular with men. It may minimize your pool of men because you are the prize and you act like it and you just don't proclaim it. It's going to minimize your pool of men. But that pool of men, they're going to be worthy. They're going to be more high quality. They're going to be more top tier versus you having access to the majority. Yes, part of understanding your worth is understanding that the things of value don't beg to be admired. It's not your job to convince others that you're worth investing in. It's already obvious to obvious that you are. Absolutely. And that's what being a prize is. That's what acting like the prize is. A prize never announces itself. I've never looked at my crowns, and my crown started talking to me. I started telling me, hey, you need to take care of us. Hey, you need to be responsible for us. Hey, you need to let people know that I'm here. No, I do all the talking. I do all the announcing because I'm very proud that I won the pageant. I'm very proud of that time in my life, because that time in my life, when I became a pageant girl, it increased my self-confidence and self-esteem. It made me realize I was that girl. And it helped me overall, because before that, I was coming from a place of not liking what I looked like, not liking who I was, not valuing myself, and not, really critical who I was as a girl. So that pageants have a significant place in my life, and I really feel that was a perfect analogy, because when you go and do pageants and you have to earn that crown, baby, you will not get to earn that crown without meeting those requirements, without meeting the rules of entry, without taking on the responsibility that there is a responsibility to earn a crown. I had to go and be in parades, even though I've never been a parade person. I had to agree to wanting to be in the parades. I had to agree to wanting to show up in the way that they wanted me to show up as. I had to agree to operate and be this person who's not going to break any of the moral contract that they had with me. If I did, they would take and snatch that crown back from me. Being the prize, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Being the prize is a responsibility, not just an affirmation. It requires more from you. And it is okay if you want to be average. It's okay that you don't desire to take that path. It is fine if you have no desire to pay attention to your standards and boundaries. And it's okay if you don't want to do what's required for rules of entry. But being and acting like the prize are two different things. It's not the same. Being the prize is knowing that you have inherent value, that you're valuable as a woman. Acting like the prize is letting people go when they don't meet the rules of entry. It's letting people go when they don't meet the requirements. It's letting people go who don't want to take on the responsibility. And this gives you a lot of responsibility as a person who is the prize. You have heavy responsibility. And this is also the reason why a lot of things are geared towards women. They don't go in and do a lot of talking to men about relationship, religion, even purchases. They really direct that towards women. And the reason for that is because they understand heavy is the head that wears the crown. They understand that women model and men follow. They understand that women are the neck and men are the head. So all she has to do is turn his head to point in a specific direction, and he goes in that direction. Society, government, advertisers understand how much power that women have, but women themselves. That is what I'm starting to realize. I think that everybody else understands how powerful women are, but women themselves. Women don't understand how much power they have. Women don't understand how much responsibility is on their shoulders. Why do you think they come to women when relationship doesn't go well or when families break apart? They come to women and look at women. They blame women for these things because women have a heavy responsibility. And that's what happens when you are the prize. But the thing is, we have to understand you have to act like it and not just say that you are one. It takes a heavy responsibility. It takes a lot of requirement. It takes rules of entry. It takes responsibility to be it. And everyone doesn't have to go this route. Everyone doesn't have to take this journey. But if you're willing and this is something you desire, you want to not just be the prize, you want to act like the prize, then you need to figure out what are my rules of entry. What are my rules of entry? What are my requirements? What are my responsibilities? And go from there. And realize that, yes, there are rules of entry. There are requirements. There are responsibilities. Just because women have inherent value and they are valuable. Absolutely. I'll be the first one to tell you that women are valuable. If all the women were to die and nothing but men was left, they would have nowhere to procreate. They would miss out on having someone to encourage and inspire them. They would miss out on having the insight into the spiritual world and spiritual realm. They would miss out on the intuition of a woman. There's so many things that we're missing from the world if a woman is not there. If women was to disappear from the world. So I'm not saying you're not valuable. I'm saying that you have to be more than the prize. You have to act like it. You have to realize it's more than an affirmation. It's more than just to empower you and make you feel good. It's time. If you don't have standards, it's time to get some. If you don't have boundaries, it's time to get some. If you don't have rules of entry, it's time to have some. If you don't have requirements, it's time to create them. If you don't understand your responsibility, it's time to figure out what they are. But the prize has responsibilities because the world is literally looking at woman to gauge, to see where direction she goes, to see how she shows up, to see how she's present and engaged in the world. A lot of eyes on women constantly. Women are not going to get this. And I know some women complain about that the world is always looking at you. Since the crown is heavy, the responsibility is heavy, and everyone is looking at what women are modeling, you're never going to get those eyes off of you. That's the unfortunate truth. Women are always going to have eyes on them. You're still going to be judged. You're still going to be looked at. You're still going to be shamed. There's no way to avoid these things from happening. But what you can do is take control of your life. Instead of knowing that you have inherent value as a woman, it's time to start acting like the prize. It's time to start having rules of entry and how people come into your world. It's time to start having requirements for people to be able to come into your space. It's time to start looking at the responsibilities that they must have and the ones that you must have also for being the prize. So I'm going to go ahead and let that go. I'm going to go ahead and end that there because I know I said a lot, but I had to say it even though it's unpopular. I had to say some unpopular things in order for women to wake up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. If you have any comments you want to add, questions you want to ask, you can go ahead and drop it in the comment section, and then we're going to get ready to close out. Before I close out, I want to make sure that you're aware that we're going to be hosting, the Pedestal Wife Society is going to be hosting the Co-Creator Mastermind in 2024. It is going to be a mastermind where we're going to get together, and I'm going to help you heal your relationship blocks. Not, excuse me, not your relationship block, your money blocks. It's not going to be about relationships at all. It's all going to be about healing your money blocks and learning how to use your creative energy to create extra income. Learning how to be in a space to use what you got to be planted where you're bloomed so that you can be financially stable and financially secure and have wealth come in your hand. So we're going to do a lot of talking around that. It's going to be for 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to meet once a week. So there's going to be a live stream a week for 6 to 8 weeks where we're going to be talking about money. And it's all going to be about money. And I'm so excited about doing it. There's going to be some content that you can check out right now that's in the co-creator mastermind. And you can look at some of the free content that's already available to you. I love the tough love. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Absolutely. I think a lot of times we need the tough love, even though we don't like it. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with getting a kick in the bum. There's nothing wrong for having to say something to another woman to get her to wake up so that she can realize that she can have more, that you deserve more, that you like deserving more requires that you act like the prize and not just be it. It's for you to move in a different way. And I'm so tired of women taking L's because that was an L. Anytime that you come from a weak position, a weak position, and you start talking about what you don't want, it lets the whole world know that you're not used to these things, that you've never had anything better. Just what women did, they announced to the world that I'm used to dating these type of men. That's the reason why it's so embarrassing. That's the reason why I want to talk about women acting like the prize and not just saying you are the prize, and realize that you have inherent value. You're valuable as a woman, but now it's time to start moving like the prize. It's time to start acting like the prize. It's time to start having rules of entry and how you deal with people and requirements of how you interact with people and the responsibility that come with it. So hopefully this video wakes women up so we can stop moving from a weak position. And I say we, even though I know better and I move differently. But when women put things out there, it affects the image of women. And men think that they can try that woman because the last woman accepted less. So I am all about putting out that tough love, even if it's unpopular. I have to let women know we're coming from a place of weakness instead of one of power. One of power is coming at it versus this is what I want. This is how I'm used to being treated. This is what I desire. This is what I want from a man versus this is what I don't want from a man. When you come from a place of I don't want from a man, it's weak because it lets the whole world know this is what you're used to getting. That's the reason why you're talking against it, because you're used to getting that particular behavior from men. You're used to experiencing that with a man. But when I come from, hey, this is what I want from a man. I want a man to take me here. I want a man to go here with me. I want a man to treat me like this. This comes from a place of power. This comes from a place of I'm used to being treated this way, and I'm not going to be treated any other way. So always start what you do want and not what you don't want. And you will see it's coming from a place of power. People will get used to you coming from a place of what you do want, that they will think that this person used to this, and they won't even know that you even had a bad experience. They won't even know that you had a man leave you on red. They won't even know you had men ghost you. They won't even know that you had men not want to pay the bill. They won't even know you had men that wouldn't protect you. They wouldn't even know that you had men treat you like dirt. They won't know because you're not announcing that. But they will know when you start with the first thing that come out your mouth is what you don't want. Because they know, oh, she used to that type of behavior. She used to dealing with that type of man. The prize would never. So I don't have anything else. I just want you all to know that we have the co-creator mastermind coming in 2024. And if you want to join that, because it's going to be limited spaces. I love intimate spaces. All of my workshops are very intimate. All of my programs are very intimate. So yes, there is going to be a cutoff as far as the numbers of women I'm going to accept. And we're going to have a lot of fun for that 6 to 8 weeks, meeting once a week for 6 to 8 weeks. And including with the workbooks, it's going to be included with the mastermind also. We're going to be talking about money. I'm going to help you learn how to give money an assignment So you can start having your money come from your hand to somebody else. So you can start giving your money away. Because when you have issues with money, you give your money away or you lose it. Or it doesn't save for you, it doesn't gather for you, it doesn't come unexpectedly. You lose out when you don't know how to give money an assignment. And I'm going to teach you how to do so in the mastermind. Never say out loud the bad experiences we've had. People will misuse that information. Absolutely. So that's the reason why now you, Suzanne, so you see why I say it's embarrassing when women get out here and they start talking about the type of men that they don't want to date or the places they don't want to go to. All of those lists were embarrassing. It just taught me that you're not used to better. It didn't tell men that, hey, this is how I should treat women. It just taught men that, hey, maybe I can get around that and I can treat her worse. Or maybe I can go halfway and I can do these things and I still don't have to treat her any better. You come from a place of power when you talk about what you do want or where you do want to go versus where you don't want. So I don't see any other comments. I don't see any questions in the comment section. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Just always remember, heavy is the head that wears the crown. A woman has a heavy responsibility. The prize has a lot of responsibility. So if you want that lifestyle, you want that responsibility, do what's required so that you can be the prize, but make sure you act like it. And I will see you all on the next one. You have a wonderful day. Happy Monday.